Welcome to the Explainer. Sometimes a dish is so much more than just food. And today, we're going to break down one that's a symbol of ambition, a whole story of success, all packed into a single amazing rice cake.
So, how does that even happen? Well, we're going to get into it by looking at this really fascinating dish, the Sakura shrimp and scallop rice cake. It's the perfect example of how simple ingredients, the shape, even how it's cooked, can tell this huge story about the drive to succeed. Because, you see, in Chinese food culture, this isn't just about, grabbing a bite to eat. Eating this dish is like taking part in a ceremony. It's a shared ritual that's all about celebrating ambition and that collective climb up the ladder. It really does turn a simple meal into a powerful moment. All right, so let's get into our first section here and see how this whole thing is built, starting right at the foundation of the dish, the rice. And what's wild is that its most important quality isn't the taste, it's the philosophy behind it. So the key ingredient here is glutinous rice. You probably know it as sticky rice. And in ancient China, this stuff was almost sacred. I mean, it was the #1 choice for making ceremonial wines and cakes for big rituals. And it all came down to one simple physical trait, the fact that it sticks together.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You can see how that super simple physical trait was basically reinterpreted over centuries. For ancient families, those tight grains were a symbol of a family that sticks together, right? But now, today, that exact same idea has been pulled right into the corporate world. It represents team cohesion, synergy. So a great team, just like a great rice cake, has that stickiness. And it's not just about what's in it. It's the architecture of the dish itself. So the rice is packed into a round bowl and then, bam, it's dramatically flipped over onto a plate. That dome shape, totally intentional. It's made to look like a treasure basin, which is this super powerful symbol of bringing in wealth and making sure that fortune flows in but never out. Okay, so if the rice is the stage, then it's time to meet the two big stars of our story, the shrimp and the scallop. And trust me, these aren't just thrown in for flavor. Oh no, they are carrying some very specific and very powerful messages. Just look at this breakdown. The Sakura shrimp, with that jewel red color, basically screams good fortune. And you know how shrimp kind of jump in the water? Well, that's a direct metaphor for jumping up in your career. Pretty cool, right? Then you've got the scallop. Historically, this was a tribute that was literally fit for an emperor. So adding it to the dish is like adding a blessing of nobility, of wealth, and, this is key, good luck with influential people. And to make that message even more powerful, these Sakura shrimp are incredibly rare. Seriously, they're only found in 3 specific places in the entire world. So when you use an ingredient that precious, that's not just about being fancy. It's a huge statement of sincerity, showing how much you value the person you're serving it to. All right, so we've covered the what and the why of this dish. Now let's get into the how, because this is where that message of sincerity really truly comes to life. In this recipe, the effort is the message. So making this dish starts with this incredibly meticulous, almost obsessive preparation. I mean, we're not just talking about any old rice. It's a super specific 80-20 blend of long green rice for structure and short green for that perfect softness. The scallops, they get a bath in rice wine and ginger, and those delicate shrimp are fried at this really low, precise temperature to get them crispy but not burnt. It's an art. And the process itself, wow. It's like a 5-act play all about patience. First, the rice soaks for hours. Then, you carefully fry the aromatics to build up that base layer of flavor. It's steamed in a traditional wood steamer, which is absolutely key for the texture. And finally, everything is mixed with this gentle cutting motion so you don't crush the rice, and then it's molded. Every single step just demands total focus. So here's the crucial point, right? When you serve this dish, you're not just serving food. You are non-verbally sending this incredibly powerful message. The rare shrimp says, I am sincere. The long, difficult process says, I have patience for you. And the final product, well, that's a powerful blessing for your success. It's pretty much a perfect act of social communication, all without saying a word. Okay, let's tie all of this together. We've looked at the philosophy, the symbols, the whole process. So how does this all come together on the plate to deliver that powerful message? The final dish is a full-on experience for the senses, and I mean that in the best possible way. Visually, it's just grand and formal. The smell,
It's this complex mix of savory pork and fragrant seafood. And the texture is a whole journey in itself. You get the crispiness from the shrimp, the chewy tenderness from the scallop, all held together by that soft, sticky rice. It's a complete package. Actually, the process is so demanding that traditionally it was used as a kind of character test. An old master chef wouldn't ask a new apprentice about their ambition. No, they'd ask them to make this rice cake. Because if they could do it well, it proved they were patient, they were steady, they were meticulous, all the true signs of a great chef. And believe it or not, the story isn't over. Today, this dish keeps evolving with these cool modern twists that add whole new layers of meaning. So you might see it with black rice or quinoa. That's not just for health. It's to symbolize being a dark horse candidate for success. And topping it with abalone? Whoa, that is the ultimate power move. It symbolizes a guarantee of success. It just goes to show how this dish is still adapting and reflecting our modern ambitions. So, after all this history, all this symbolism and technique, what's the one thing you should really take away from all this? It's this one beautiful, final image. When you finally lift the lid off the steamer, that cloud of white steam that just billows upwards, that's seen as the ultimate symbol of the dish's blessing. That rising steam is the step-by-step promotion. It's ambition literally taking flight right in front of your eyes. And that leaves us with a final thought. I mean, if a simple rice cake can hold such a deep, complex story about human ambition, it kind of makes you wonder, what other stories are hiding in plain sight? In the everyday objects all around us, just waiting to be discovered.